I hope you all had a great lunch, but it's now time to come back. And for our first talk, we have the perfect person to keep us awake. João Correia, I think everybody knows him. He's a man of many offices, so very difficult to describe, but he used to be our collection curator back some years ago in Oceanário. He has now flying sharks, a diving company. He has everything. You name it, you can remember it, he has it. And he will talk to us about his new aquarium. He has also a small aquarium in the Azores, which I haven't had the pleasure to visit, but I have been in that place. It's an amazing place, full of wildlife around, and he'll talk to us a little bit about it and explain how it works. João, please.
Okay, so this is a long presentation, and but I'll do my very best to go fast. Whoa, wait a minute. Jesus, not that fast. Holy cow. So anyway, well, you guys know that in 2010, we did the big transport to Istanbul. We told everybody about it, and that was a big operation. It was very impressive, but I just want to point out your attention to the fact that this thing I'm going to show you now basically blew the Istanbul operation away. I mean, the amount of work that was put into this thing, especially or almost exclusively by our Azorian team, was just absolutely staggering. So here we go. So this is for all the Star Wars fans. This control is weird, but okay, here we go. So Horta, just God, sorry about that. Okay, well, I'm not touching the control anymore. Horta, which is in the Azores. You all know that. I don't deserve it. It doesn't do this for anyone else. It's just doing it to me. And shouldn't have killed that black chicken last night. Anyway, Horta is in the middle of the Azores, and this. Can we get another laptop, maybe? I don't. Oh, Jesus.
If you need me to help you, you got a problem.
Okay. Maybe I'll just get my laptop really quick, because it just keeps going down. Oh, okay, I know what happens. I need to hit space. No. Oh, God.
I just stop altogether. However you do that.
Yeah.
We have no fucking idea.
Okay.
And then start again.
Yes.
And just press it.
You're a sweet soul. Sweet soul. Okay, let's see how we go. I hit one button and it just keeps going. Oh, God. There's no effects on this thing at all, so I really don't understand why it's doing this. Let me just, okay, I know this is bad, but let me just find out if there's some sort of an automatic thing that's making it run, because I didn't add it to the presentation. Yeah, do you guys mind? I know it's kind of stupid, but I don't know what's happening. Never had this before. So, okay, there we go. So we got Horta in the Azores, as you know. This is us playing around over there. This is just guys. Like I said, it's a big presentation, so don't be surprised that I'm going to go very, very fast through some of these slides. Zé Graça, Telmo over there, Nunu, you've all met him. This is a bunch of people in the Azores having fun. 2008 is really when things started heating up in the Azores. We got an order for manta rays to Dubai. That actually didn't happen, but it got us to travel to the Azores and see what we could do there. This is the boat. We were going to be bringing the manta rays from the open ocean into Horta Holdings Harbor. 2010 is when we started collecting things for Istanbul. We used to hold things out in the water. I'm going to go very, very fast through these. It's not the computer that's acting up. It's me pressing it now. I just want to, because you've seen this. You've seen this last time we talked about Istanbul. So I just want to give you an idea of the difference of what it used to be in the Azores and what it is now. I couldn't help picking up on the subject that Laura was talking this morning. These two fish were caught August 31st, 2010. And we can actually tell that for every single fish that we've ever supplied. We know the place, there's a little stupid story behind each fish. Like on this day, one of our guys almost drowned, but that's just not important now. Our very first tanks in the Azores, this is how we used to do things. Whale poster, very sexy. And tanks, batteries, salt water, battery charger, all very safe. You know, us Portuguese, we're very safety prone. So holding things in the harbor, you've seen this before. I'm going fast on purpose, don't worry. I'll slow down when it gets to it. And this is us doing stuff, you know. Fuel was very important. Beer is a very important part of our operation. So, you know, we used to change waters with a hose and have a lot of batteries. And basically, the bottom line here is that it was hard. It was exceptionally hard to work in Horta port. These are just a couple of cute little fish that we had. And then we had these problems, like on 9 October, we had a storm, raging storm, that basically destroyed one of the 4 holding cages that we had. And this is before the Istanbul operation, so not a good day. We lost quite a few fishes that day, but we got them all back again. We had some burned wires because we were stressing our pumps to the very limit. So again, very, very difficult situation over there, but then we got this really cool electrical board, and so slowly things were getting into place. Now, this is when it starts to get important and fun. Schools, local schools in Horta found that what we were doing was interesting. It had never been done before. Horta is a big commercial fishing place, but keeping live animals is something they'd never seen. So a lot of kids came along. You can see Nuno over there, sitting over there. So the kids were looking at the fish, and they were, you know, they thought it was very cool. So then we put everything on a boat, three containers. Nuno and a friend of ours, Rui Guedes, you know, they came on the vessel. So these are pictures of the guys packing everything, putting it on the vessel. So it was very important night, November 25th. And that Telmo on the left is a former colleague of mine from university. He's the boss in the Azores. He runs everything over there. Spectacular guy, and I really hope he gets to come to these meetings very, very soon. So basically, these guys were dead. They were just dead by the end of this operation. So we were very, very happy with the way things went in Istanbul, and this is what happened afterwards. So we got a lot of press. Cedric sitting somewhere over there. I think Cedric followed the transport to Istanbul. He was on the news. We got a lot of press, media, TV. Everybody was going crazy that, you know, we flew 2 planes to Istanbul. We got this medal in Horta. You've never seen our team looking this nice in ever. And we got that medal that you can see. Rui Guedes in the middle there with it. So the government, the local government were very impressed with what we did. So now, you know, now we're back to regular operations. Just bagging fish, you know, no big transports. Things are different these days. So we're bagging fish. And then we needed a little bit of space. So we got this warehouse where we put some transport tanks. And we're doing things as we were, just a little easier. We're not in containers anymore, but things were just a little better. Then we're getting asked to go all over the place, schools, universities, whatever, and talk about what we did, because it was very new. So we're going all over talking to these people. Politicians. This lady was Berta Cabral. She was running for the regional government. She wanted to meet us. She wanted to tell us that if she won, she would support our activities. And we're like, okay, whatever. I mean, we're not really political at all, as you can imagine. But we went there, we shook her hand. She actually, I know off the record that she was very impressed with Telmo, our buddy, because it was the first time that she had a meeting with someone who was not in a suit and tie. Telmo got there in his flip-flops and like, hey, how you doing? I hear you want to meet us. And it was very interesting. So, meetings and meetings and meetings and meetings. This is Rui Guedes, another friend of ours. These are guys that used to invite us to give speeches about what we did. Everything is very interesting. And then this guy, Frederico, he is the head of the environmental department in the Azores. So Frederico basically asked us, hey, how would you like to occupy this station that we have that used to be an old whale processing plant? It's not doing anything. The government has spent $500,000 converting it to a virtual aquarium, but that project didn't fly at all. So They were getting a lot of heat from the opposition, you know, because they spent the money, nothing was happening. So he asked us, do you want to do this thing? And so we started planning. They asked us, why don't you tell us how much would it cost to convert this to a holding facility? So we started planning. Planning in the Azores is a lot of fun, of course. And we planned, and then we gave him a number, 254,000 euros. And we were extremely, extremely careful about planning this number because we did not want to go over that number, which is what happens in Southern Europe all the time, as you can see on the news. We really didn't want to be on the newspaper like flying sharks spent way too much money. So we gave these guys this number, which we worked on for months. And the government guy tell us, well, that's nothing, so go ahead and do it. So we started doing it. Contract, 100% financed, and this is the place where we're going to do it. That's where the old whale processing plant was. And basically, we started construction. These are just a cute little postcards, and that's where it is. Construction began. So this is what we had. We had a room that had some construction years before for the virtual aquarium. Didn't go anywhere, so we had this space to do whatever the hell we wanted for 254,000 euros. So construction began. First thing was, let's get a big tank. We want a big tank. We want to hold sharks. We want hammerheads. We want billfish. We want crazy stuff. So let's have a big tank in the middle. 3-meter round tank for schooling fish, which was really cool. And, you know, construction. I'm going to go fast with these construction slides because, you know, it's not really that important. One thing I will stress is that every single thing that you see here was designed by us. We designed it. We planned it to the most infinite detail you can imagine. Every single valve, every single electrical part, we designed it because we've worked with live fishes and with aquaria and everything, and we wanted to make absolutely sure that there was no mistake at the end. We wanted everything to be just perfect. So everything you see here was done by us. And we got the contractors to do the heavy lifting, but then we got involved as well. So we got 6 of these 2-meter tanks that were made in the Algarve. They were shipped to the Azores. So getting things ready for the tanks. This is all the construction. Now, mind you, we've got the contractors doing this work, but our guys in the Azores are there also with their hard hats and their boots and their gloves, and they're doing the cement and everything and the concrete with them every single day from 7 a.m. until 11 at night. So they're building and building and building. These are the tanks when they arrive to the Azores. They're building. This is Mr. Isauro. He catches fish for us. Commercial fisherman, makes a lot more money working with us with live fish, of course. Tanks being brought to the Azores. That hole right there, that's for plumbing and that's for electricity. We dug that hole ourselves with a hammer. And so everything is going well. You know, lining the tanks and putting all the fiberglass, making sure everything is nice and sealed. So slowly things are taking shape, but you know, we still have a long way to go. And we're going. And now one thing that the government did say is that they wanted us to have the door open to the public. So at least one tank needed to be pretty, you know what I mean? Like there's holding tanks for our commercial fish that we're selling, but at least one tank needed to be pretty with a lot of education, signage, with interpretation, so that we could teach something to the local folks. So that's the glass for the pretty tank, as we came to call it. That's Nelson, a friend of ours, works with there as well. He works for the hyperbaric chamber in Porto as well. So if we have an accident, Nelson is the guy that throws us inside the hyperbaric chamber. He owns the key, so that's good. This is us putting the pretty tank glass in place. That's Luis Cancio, a former colleague of ours from the Oceanario. He operates his own company now. And you know, he actually did the pretty tank, which is a big one. It's 5 meters long. So everybody's putting everything together, and it gets time to really start to fine-tune things. So everything is in place. You can see that the flooring, all the plumbing is on the floor, but then we have a second level of flooring so that we don't have valves and stuff laying around. And we came up with a really clever system of levers that we push through the floor and we open and close valves. So it's very easy to have like a pallet jack running around and all of that. And bear in mind, again, after working in lots of places and having some experience, one of the things that we really wanted to make sure here is that we didn't have those common mistakes that happen every time an aquarium opens. You know, you always have the drains in the high spots. You always have corners that you can't turn with a pallet jack and all of that stuff. So we had meeting upon meeting upon meeting to make absolutely sure none of that happened. So Plumbing. The architect came up with all the plumbing. We did not like what he did. So this guy on the right, Rui Guedes, is a colleague of ours who works there. This guy taught AutoCAD himself, downloading PDFs from the web. He learned AutoCAD. He redid all of the plumbing himself. He's a marine biologist. He's not an architect. He's not an engineer. But he redid every single thing himself, and we were extremely impressed. So Brian, sitting right over there, you owe me a gin and tonic because I'm going to put a lot of publicity for TMC right now. We got all of our gear from Brian, and it is pretty spectacular gear, as you'll see. Lots and lots of PVC parts that we used, lots and lots of plumbing. So we're adding all of this stuff. Everything looks really precious because, again, we made absolutely sure that everything was as efficient as we could. 21,600 hours of labor. So we're pouring concrete. You know, again, remember, these guys, they're not builders, they're marine biologists, but they're building this thing with everybody else every single day. So we're doing this thing. Eventually it was time to fill up with water. So we're scrubbing, and then it came the time to install the pumps, you know, the suction pumps to get water from the ocean up to the tanks. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We started filling up the tanks. I'll give you more details about the pumps. Rui Guedes, again, he was freaking out on the day that we filled up everything, just because, of course, we were very worried that there would be leaks, but there were no leaks at all. So everything is looking good. And then came the time to do some more fine-tuning again. And that's Felipe Marreta. He's an awesome guy, does awesome work for us. You know, of course, these guys are working until 11 midnight, so we get pizza in and all that stuff. So every single thing, like I said, designed by us. And to make absolutely sure, I'm not going to go over all the details now, but I got all that stuff with me. If you want to go over details, we'll gladly share it with you. But it was done in a really smart way to make sure that we make our water usage really efficient. Although we did spend a little bit on plumbing, now it's going to make our work extremely easy, you know, on years and years to come, which is something that we really wanted to happen. So everything is taking shape. Putting on the flooring, I'm not going to leave that too long. Our guys got a little tired sometimes. Anyway, these are the guys that did the electronic boards, again, designed by us. These guys, they look like kids. They are kids, but they're the ones who actually put the electrical boards together. Everything looking good. Gluing PVC parts, which, of course, you know, makes you go high, but it's fun. So Brian, again, hey, look at all these pretty pictures. This is all PVC TMC stuff. So we're going and going and going. Okay, so let's go back to the hole that was done by our guys. These are the guys just basically getting ready to drill the hole and you know, we had a lot of fun, of course. The hole was dug by us with our bare hands. I should say their hands, the guys in the Azores. So everything was done by them, and they're digging and digging and digging and digging. And then that's Telmu on the right, just digging and digging. This is rock, by the way. That's not mud, that's rock. These are our guys with a jackhammer just drilling away the rock until they hit water. So they dug and they dug. Then it was time to pull the pumps that docked on a boat right along there, and we had to pull them up. So, you know, we've got guys pushing the pumps up, and so we figured out, okay, so yeah, the pyramids weren't that hard after all. We've done pretty much the same. So that's very cool. And so plumbing and more fine-tuning and the hole and more hole and details and details. I'm not going to, you know, linger on too long on these details. So finally it was time to bring in the fish. So everything was looking nice, and I have to say we're pretty damn proud of what we've done over there. And again, the credit goes to our Azorian guys. I was there 2-3 times. We were on the phone and on email, but really the guys there did a phenomenal job. This is a pretty tank. This is a pretty tank that's got a lot of fish to show the public. These are all the other tanks. So everything is looking pretty good. We're started to add fish. There we go. So we've got some taupe sharks swimming in there. And we got people starting to come in. And then, yeah, Brian again, with all the phenomenal TMC filtration. Like I said in the beginning, we have all of the valves are under the floor. We've got these really cool levers that basically allow us to open and close. Of course, if there's a problem, we can just pull out those grids and access it really easy. So yeah, you know, these guys basically worked non-stop every single day, you know, Saturday, Sunday, from 7 to midnight. So everything was looking good. And the time came to open up. Oh yeah, this is a student of mine. Of course, a lot of my students spent a lot of time there. This is Francisco Mauricio. He spent summer there basically helping out with the final stages. And then the time came for the politicians to come with the band and everything and cut the ribbon. So everybody was looking nice. That's the president of the Azorian regional government. And he's cutting the ribbon and inaugurating the thing. Everybody's going crazy. They're like, hey, where's the dolphins? And we're like, yeah, no dolphins. Anyway, you know, this is just a friend of ours, Enrique. You know, this was just funny, you know, all these guys in suits walking around. Then we got this call of about a couple of turtles that got stranded, they got caught accidentally by fishermen. We were just like 2 days old, and they asked us, hey, would you help rehab these turtles, you know, just get them back into shape so then they can be released? And we were like, yeah, sure. We had this Portuguese man of war there just kind of for fun, and we thought, well, just leave it there so the kids don't touch the turtle. This way, you know, keep the turtle safe. So yeah, so then eventually we released the turtle back into the ocean. These are just some cool little species that we're now working on. So now we're looking at the future and what it's going to be. And I'm nearly done. Can't believe I did 282 slides. And we've got some pretty fish. Hammer time. We've been playing with hammerheads, and that's it. Again, I just want to tell you guys, Telmo is going to start coming to these conferences sooner or later, but I can't emphasize enough. I mean, this guy just freaking rocks. He's got his family, he's got his wife, he's got 2 kids, he's working non-stop on this thing. I mean, he did the Istanbul thing in 2010. Now he did this. He designed that whole electrical board that you can see right there. And I just want to thank you guys for your attention and the EUAC program committee for allowing us to give this presentation. Thank you very much.
20 seconds.